Tim Pancakes.
Hello everybody, Tim Pancakes here with...
King Karen.
And this is our final episode, as long as it doesn't take forever, of King Karen's quest for King's Quest 6. And so today the objective is to play through the alternate ending.
Which was also the lost footage.
Which was the lost footage, yes. So Karen will provide commentary over differences between them, and this will move a lot quicker than the original time did. At one scene in particular. Before we move on, comment below if you'd like to see us continue the King's Quest series. We are thinking of starting with King's Quest 1 and just working our way through now that Karen has been hooked. So comment below if that's something you'd like to follow. We'll probably do it anyway, though. But I'd still like to know.
I think we're actually ready to go into the castle.
I think so. Do you have the Nightingale, or what do you have for your items from the... Oh, you have the paintbrush. So you need to get the Nightingale, as you may...
Oh, right, I do need to get that.
When we played the long ending, you got 230 out of 231 points, but we realized the 1 point we were missing was from reading the rare book, which we did do in another save game.
Right.
We just didn't do it in this save. So
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
in our hearts, we know we got full points.
Yeah. I will fake die.
Very good, Prince Alex. It is always a pleasure doing business with you. Enjoy the mechanical nightingale and feel free to bring it back anytime. Alexander holds out the rose, hoping that the bird will deliver it to Cosima.
Yes! King Karen's Drag Race.
A group of serving women approach the castle. Ah, Wolf! Oh, serving women! A castle staff is certainly busy today! Aye, Gruff! Get a move on there, wenches! There's plenty of work left to do before the wedding!
Yes, Sergeant Gruff.
Those serving wenches are always late!
I just loved how when you first got Cosima's ribbon, you're like, oh, maybe I can disguise myself as a woman to get into the castle. I was like,
Yeah.
Taking his cue from the serving women he's seen enter the castle, Alexander decides to try a few alterations to make himself more acceptable to the guards. He ducks into the little hut to put on Beauty's clothes. Feeling a little foolish, Alexander slips Beauty's old slave clothes on over his own. Imagine if Cosima saw him like this. Well, here we go. You there, girl, you're late. Get a move on before the Wazir sees you. Yes. Yes, sir.
Shantae, you stay.
The castle guards lock the main entrance doors behind Alexander. From the open door comes the clatter of pots and pans, yelled instructions, and other busy kitchen noises.
Girl, don't just stand there. There's a stack of silver almost to the ceiling that needs polishing for the wedding. Get a move on. Phew. I can't afford to get caught up in that mess. I'd never find Cosima.
I always thought it was so ridiculous that he leaves his disguise.
I know, right? I mean, he's fooled guards and staff.
I know. I feel like we should also just clarify, the reason we know what we're doing is we did play through all this already once.
Yeah. So I think for the
My
most part, I
Cerebus
remember.
caller, I'll be glad when this wedding is over. Hey, I'm getting mighty tired of this patrol. It's wearied me to the bone.
I couldn't agree with you more, Wolf. Who'd have thought we'd ever have to listen to Princess Casima crying all day long and be ordered to ignore it yet?
Something sticks in my craw about the whole thing. The Wazir says that the princess is not herself. Says she's half mad with grief over her parents' death. I can see it. The poor mite. But still.
I agree. It seems cruel to lock her up when she's so heartbroken. Let her out in the fresh air, I say. It'll do her a world of good.
Well, she insisted on the mourning period, and it's up today. Thank the stars.
Too bad we couldn't find that nightingale of hers. The Wazir says she's been pining for it.
If I had an ounce of luck, I'd have found it weeks ago. Not only would it cheer up the princess, but the reward the Wazir's offered for it would make me pretty happy too, doggone it.
Oh, well, our luck will definitely be out if the Wazir catches us snapping our jaws at our post.
Sorry, Wolf. I'll keep my muzzle shut.
Last time we played this, it took us like an hour on the screen. It just kept going and going and going. We couldn't figure out what our issue was.
Oh my god.
Alexander walks into the hallway to use the mechanical nightingale. Alexander winds the mechanical nightingale and places it strategically on the floor of the upstairs hallway.
And then you go.
Weird.
A mechanical song echoes in the corridor. Alexander hears the sound of boots pounding as the guard dogs come to investigate.
And here's the key. Use the hand.
Alexander
Yeah.
the pillar.
Don't stand in the shadow where...
Yeah, like,
Okay.
obviously he's hiding and nobody can see him there.
There is,
We
Dave.
probably-
How do you suppose a metal bird got in here?
You got me, but there's something weird about it. Hey, could this be Casima's nightingale, do you think?
You lapdog, the princess's nightingale isn't some tin thing.
How do you know? Have you seen it?
Well, no, but
I don't know, babe. Humans can be pretty strange. With their sense of smell, maybe she wouldn't even know it wasn't real. I say we take it downstairs to Captain Saladin. He'll know what to do with it.
what about our post?
Charles and Mike are in the other hallway. They can handle it for 5 minutes. Think about how happy the princess would be to get her nightingale back. And then there's that reward money and my missus.
Right, Wolf. Let's go.
Alexander hears the guard dog's boots clank noisily on the staircase leading down to the grand hall.
Because I kept on walking, trying to hide behind that column and trying to get like perfectly in the
Yeah.
shadow. But they kept on finding me, and so I was getting so pissed.
Yeah.
And
We couldn't figure it out. We were reading all sorts of walkthroughs.
40 minutes.
Oh, it took
Like,
forever.
a long time. Like we were both looking up walkthroughs and we just couldn't figure it out. And then we found out we were, instead of using the walking guy, we were supposed to use the little hand.
Right, which I think I only found because I watched someone play on YouTube and saw what they physically did, but nobody ever thought, and any of the walkthroughs, all they said is, okay, hide behind the pillar, and it's like, okay.
And I also remember
Alexander
saying,
checks behind the portrait.
I need the nail.
Alexander pulls the nail out of the wall and keeps it.
Then, and now I can go here.
Alexander finds the hallway door unlocked and slips inside.
So folks may recognize this room. In the other ending, I actually came in through the wardrobe.
Mhm.
So we'll be doing the same thing here. Well, Minus the Zebu thing. I don't need that.
The trunk is locked.
Since I don't have a skeleton key this time,
Right.
I use
Alexander
the nail.
wiggles the nail in the trunk's lock until he hears a click. Alexander opens the trunk.
He's been watching White Collar or something. He knows something.
Alexander picks up the most recent letter and examines it. The letter is addressed to Abdul al-Hazred from the wizard Shadrach.
Okay, and now I'm going to go put... I didn't do this the last time.
Yeah, we were racing.
Nail back into the wall.
I mean, I did it, but it was like, ah!
Alexander puts the heavy portrait back on the wall.
It was last minute.
Yeah, the dogs will be back, and the computer prompts you, like, oh, Alex can hear someone coming. And you're like, I didn't put the nail back.
Yeah, so like all this week is like a timer's going, and I only have so much time before...
Nailed it! Woo!
before you can do everything that you need to, so... And then...
Alexander hears the muffled sound of crying coming from the back hallway. The door is locked with a heavy padlock.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hello? Is there someone in there?
Who's there?
Seema, is that you? It's Alexander.
Alexander, is it really you? And Sing Sing brought me your ring. I can scarcely believe it. How did you get inside the castle?
Never mind that now. It isn't important. What can I do to help you? You want me to get you out of there? There's a padlock on the door, but I think...
No, please. Don't even think about that. There are guards everywhere, and the Wazir would have you killed if he found you. You shouldn't even risk being outside my door. Please go now, Alexander.
What about you? I can't just leave you locked up like this.
The only way out for me is to stop the Wazir. See what you can do out there. In the meantime, I should be safe enough. He hasn't harmed me. Yet. Besides, if I can get my hands on something with which to defend myself, I'm pretty sure I'll get a chance to use it. The Wazir feels safe around me. No one else can get that close.
You're so brave, Princess. But it's too dangerous.
Have you forgotten where we met? What is Abdul compared to Mordak? I'll be fine. Now go!
Alexander hesitates.
I'll do as you say. I will find some way to help you, Kasima. I swear it.
I believe you, Alexander. Please, be careful.
Kasima, take this small dagger. It's not much, but perhaps it will prove useful to you.
Oh, thank you, Alexander. I'm sure it will help.
I found this letter in the Wazir's bedroom. I think you should know what it says.
I can't believe it. Oh, I had my suspicions, but this confirms everything. Alexander, you must take the letter. You might have a chance to show it to someone who can help you stop the Wazir.
Alexander hears the guards approaching from the stairs.
Got plenty of time now.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the brain of a cat wolf, you'd have known that mechanical nightingale wasn't Casima's nightingale.
I was all for staying on patrol, but you wanted to show that thing to Saladin.
Well, at least the captain wasn't too mad. He's a good honest dog, Saladin is.
I wish the same could be said for our...
Hush! Do you want to be dazzled, you fool?
Somewhere nearby, a door opens.
Greetings, Shamir, sir.
A petulant voice snaps a response at the guards.
The wedding is about to begin. Make sure everything is secure.
Yes, sir.
Footsteps retreat down the hall towards the back hallway. Alexander hears the distant sounds of chains rattling. A door opens. There's a small commotion and a woman's sharp cry.
Cosima!
Gradually, the sounds fade away off to the east. All is silent.
If it weren't for him being the Wizier's page and all, I'd have something to say about that. Wonder where he's taking her. The wedding's the other way.
You never know with that one. He's always showing up when he shouldn't be and going where he oughtn't. Let's go check it out.
The guard dogs seem to have stopped at the back hallway. The wedding music is coming from behind those two large doors.
Oh, yeah.
Prince Alexander, here, the Vizier will have my head for allowing you within a mile of the royal wedding. Since you are of noble birth, I will give you 5 seconds to explain your presence here before killing you. I warn you, it had better be good.
Oh, you wait.
Wait. If you love your princess, you'll hear me out. The Vizier is not what he appears to be. Cosima is in terrible danger. I have proof that this is so. For your princess's sake, you must believe me.
Let me see that.
Saladin reads the letter, his sword points still against Alexander's throat. Alexander watches the guard dog's noble face darken with rage.
This is treason. I'll have his throat. But how do I know this letter is not a forgery? You could have written this yourself.
But I did not. Have you no doubts of your own about our Hazred? Don't you see? All he wants is the crown. Cosima is being coerced. We must stop the wedding.
It is true. I have had my suspicions about the Vizier, especially when King Califim and Queen Alaria died. But I have seen Cosima with him several times. She appears to be quite happy, even enthusiastic. I don't believe she could love him if he truly were so wicked.
I cannot believe for a moment that she loves that snake.
A jilted lover would not believe it. But come, see for yourself. Tell me what it is that you wish me to do with this young man, and I will obey.
Why, Captain, you heard my dear Abdul. If he wishes this atrocious young man death, then I want nothing more than to see him get his wish. Obey thy liege now and always.
As you wish, Princess.
Look into this mirror, my love, and show us your true heart. That mirror? No!
The lovely image of Cosima suddenly bursts into smoke and is replaced by the Wazir's genie.
Shamir, you fool! It's not my fault, Master! The illusion was broken!
Treason! What have you done with the princess?
Enraged, Saladin and the other guard dogs begin advancing on the Wazir.
You worthless genie! Do something!
Shamir, the Wazir's genie, begins to throw balls of dazzling light at the guard dogs.
I remember the first time I did that in the lost footage. You're like, you better go get him.
Yeah.
Standing there like watching the genie
I
throw
know,
stuff.
like you're gonna get hit.
I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Alexander, be careful. Al-Hazard has a sword.
Shut up, witch! Shamir Shamazel! Get Get in here!
Here I am, Master.
It's about time, you bumbling fool! How could you let him follow me?
Well, there were the guard dogs, Master, and then...
Never mind! Just kill him! Kill him now!
As you wish, Master. Razzle, dazzle, snap and snazzle. Look what I have here, my friend. Peppermint. Nice fresh peppermint. Razzle, dazzle.
Forget the stupid peppermint. Don't you dare even think about it.
Mint.
Oh no, not now! Do something! Shamir Shamazel! Kill him!
Send a small, a ball of light to frazzle.
Dazzle Ball goes wild.
Oh.
You killed my genie. You idiot! Don't you know how valuable he was, you fool? I'll kill you myself for that outrage.
So shall it be, Al-Hazred. I'm ready.
Not if I can help it, you murderer!
Kasima thrusts the small dagger into Al-Hazred's shoulder with all her might.
Ah! You dare raise a finger to me? You will regret that, princess.
Alexander sees no use for that item there.
I do.
There's no need to fear anymore, Princess.
Yes, I know. How can I ever repay you? For myself, for my kingdom.
It was not in me to let harm come to you. Can you find it in you, Princess? Give me more than your gratitude?
Alexander, what are you saying?
I love you, Kasima. Would you ever consider... Do you think you could... marry me?
Could you ever have doubted it, my prince?
Kasima and Alexander ask Captain Saladin to perform their wedding ceremony. Saladin is honored to do so. On this historical day of great joy in the land of the Green Isles, we witness the union of Kasima, beloved princess of this realm, and Alexander, Prince of Daventry. Do you, Prince Alexander of Daventry, take Princess Kasima to be your wife, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
And do you, Princess Kasima of the land of the Green Isles, take Prince Alexander to be your husband, to love and to cherish for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Do you have a ring?
I have Alexander's royal insignia ring.
Very good. Please place the ring on Kasima's finger. Who gives this bride to be wed?
That would be me. In the name of King Caliphon, beloved friend, I give his daughter Kasima in wedlock.
Thank you, Jalo.
Since the groom has no family present, I will speak on his behalf. Alexander, your union with this woman is sanctioned and recognized in the eyes of the community.
Thank you, Saladin.
Then, Alexander and Kasima, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Those two dogs made a lot of noise.
I know.
Excuse my interrupting your joy, but I have an important question for the new bride and groom.
What is it, Saladin?
Alexander, Alhazred hurt this little kingdom nearly to the point of destroying all that we stand for. But you are true and good, and have proven yourself to all the people.
Thank you, Captain.
King Caliphim and Queen Ilaria are gone, and can never be restored. Alhazred has, thankfully, been banished. But we are leaderless. I believe you too can heal this small kingdom from all the damage that Alhazred has inflicted upon it. Will you two, Alexander and Cassima, consider becoming the ruling king and queen?
Why, I'm honored. What do you think, Cassima?
I love my homeland, Alexander. I would be happy to stay and serve it all my days.
I wish my father were here so that I could ask his advice. I will miss him, and my mother and sister, and Daventry. But I love you, Cassima, and I do feel at home here. Somehow this land and I seem to suit each other. I don't know what kind of king I'll make, but I accept.
Oh, Alexander, I'm so happy. If only my parents could have been alive to see this day, my joy would be complete.
I'm sorry I could not spare you that grief, beloved.
King Alexander, there is a long road ahead. The ferry must be repaired before we can reunite the islands. Unfortunately, the islands are still feuding. It will take some time and great diplomacy to convince them to reunite and stop fighting each other.
Yes, Alexander. We will have to try to discover how Alhazred managed to make them hate each other so that we can undo what he has done.
Now let us celebrate our good fortune. The evil that has plagued this land is done, and a new reign begins. Long live King Alexander and Queen Cassima.
Long live King Alexander! Long live Queen Cassima! Long live the land of the Green Isles!
Final thoughts. What did you think of the game, Karen?
So the first thing, okay, I love this game. It was so much fun. And I love playing it with you. But I just want to talk about the two different endings.
Okay.
That there was two different endings and that there was two different paths. And the first time we filmed the short one, I had completely forgot that the Oracle had told us that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, so when you told me that there was a different, longer ending, where I was super disappointed that I didn't get all the points.
Yeah, you're like, 180.
And then, yeah, I was not happy. So when you told me that there was a different ending, I was like, oh my gosh, it kind of blew my mind because I completely forgot. But I love between the two different endings that there's some items you don't use and some items you do use both times, but in different ways. Mm-hmm. And like going through both the long and the short version, it's kind of fun knowing where things are for the other version. Uh-huh. But that, like, oh, I don't need that though.
Yeah.
And like when we were talking with Cassima outside her door, it's like, oh, in the long version, then I got to actually see her and talk, you know, so a more satisfying ending. And, you know, like this one, the short version, the alternate ending is like a happy ending.
Yeah, it got the job done.
It got the job done, but his family's not, they kind of rub it in. It's hilarious.
I know, yeah.
His family's not there. Her parents are still dead.
The islands hate each other.
And the ferry is still broken.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, like there's two guard dogs in attendance. I think that is very innovative, and I don't think that happens a lot anymore.
No, especially for 1992.
Yeah, it was just so, like, it's so smart. There's so much depth to it, to the whole story.
It's so smart, so well thought out.
Yeah.
I will say that 7 also has 2 endings, but it's by no means the same. It's like you make one different choice at the end, and that impacts the end. But it's like the last like minute of the game or something like that. So it's not quite the same where you go on a different path and have an entirely different experience.
Right. Gotcha.
But we'll do that too when we get to 7. We'll play both of them.
And you know that I'll forget by the time
Oh,
we get to 7.
absolutely.
And I'm very curious and excited to get, I know we're going back to 1, but I'm excited to get to 6 because Cosima and Alexander kind of talked about how they met and everything. And it's like, I don't know that.
You're like, what's that?
Because she was like, you know how we met? And I'm like, no.
You're like, wow.
Wrote, points make me feel accomplished.
Especially when you get all of them.
Well, I think for me it was kind of fun to track where the points were.
Yeah.
So like if at the end of a recording, if I had gotten a lot more points than where we had started, I was like, oh, nice.
Oh, like the Catacombs was like 30 points or something like that, I think.
Right. And at times when I feel like I didn't really do a lot, if I got a lot of points, it was really nice.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They tended to err on the side of long-windedness, like some of these monologues or the cutscenes. And I mean, yeah, the story is so rich, and a lot of those long monologues did have hints, like you mentioned the Oracle already. Or like, in today's episode with the dogs up in the hallway, they mentioned the Nightingale, which is kind of your mental cue to be like, oh, I wonder if I can use the metal one. So that's why they did it, but I almost felt like it was maybe a little too long because there were times where you could space out and miss some of those details.
Well, I think that's part of the challenge, actually, is like they're giving you so much information you don't know what you need to.
That's a good point.
That's part of point number 4, amazing music.
Oh, Chris. Let's just give Chris a round of applause. 2 thumbs up for Chris.
Well, and the fact that every single screen had different music, like that's insane. There was a lot of screens and a lot of deep to write. I mean, even if it's on a loop or whatever, to have distinct music for each theme is
yeah.
Really...
The game has like 2 versions. There's one we played, which is what I grew up playing, but there's like a more, I don't even know how to describe it, but like it's a different version where everything's the same except for the portraits when they're talking. And those are like more like a portrait. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert some pictures here of the differences. And when you watch the video, you can see it. But it's, it's interesting. And honestly, I prefer the older ones, the one that we played. Even though the newer ones are better, and also preferred by a lot of players, I like the old ones better. I don't know. Maybe since I think Alex is more handsome.
Well, to me, he does look like Nathan Fillion.
Oh, I could see that.
So I may have a little crush on Alex.
Yes, and his voice.
Okay, and I like that we can get into unwinnable situations constantly.
Yeah.
I think that is, like, I mean, you saw, like, I got into an unwinnable situation and I have to go all the way back. Or it's just, I think that, and, like, I imagine figuring out, okay.
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I let you veer off course a little bit, like climbing the mountains without the tinderbox or, things like that. But, like, I mean, I definitely also was like, I would save here, and the D&D save, because if you wanted to do both options, can you imagine not having that and knowing instantly where to go back and start the new path? No, you would have to be like, okay, let's retrace my steps.
I'll read it as I wrote it. I don't think that I could have beat the game without Tim because I would get stuck pretty quickly, get frustrated, then give up.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm really glad that I could play it with you then. And honestly, it's exciting for me too, because if I play the game, I know what to do, or I could find a walkthrough or whatever. But having you play it and me just watch you is really a lot of fun. I just wanted to ask, what's your favorite world?
I would say I had the most fun in the Isle of Wonder because of the puzzles and the catacombs.
That is the Isle of the Sacred Mountain.
That one.
Okay.
The Isle of the Sacred Mountain, because of the puzzles in the catacombs.
Mm-hmm.
Percy is my favorite.
From the Isle of Wonder.
Yeah, from the Isle of Wonder, and I miss him terribly.
Yeah.
I wish there was more with the Druid.
Yeah, I wanted more with the Druids, and honestly, when I played the game, I always wanted to go to Chessboard Land. Like, I wanted to go in there, and I know you did too.
Yeah, you had to. How many times did I try before you said you don't go in there?
You don't go in there ever, just to stop trying that. What is your favorite part of the game, favorite moment of the game? Like, if you're thinking of King's Quest 6 and the experience, what would be like the first thought or the most memorable thought? And also another question I have, which might be the same, or maybe it's different, is what was the most rewarding, like, puzzle or thing that you figured out or passed that you're like, oh, that was good?
It's not really a singular moment. There's just like a time where the game clicked for me. It did take me a little bit to get into it, but then once I understood how to play, kind of started getting the gist of it, like, actually, do you know what? I do have a moment. It's the gnomes.
Oh, yeah.
It was really the first big challenge where I could figure something out. So I think that was probably around where it clicked and or it started to, and it was like, oh, because at first I thought, oh, I'll just have to get through the first guy, and then trying to think on the, and then the most satisfying was probably, I mean, honestly, it happened a few times. I was most satisfied when I figured out puzzles without any hints.
Yeah.
There's a few of those, like the brother poem on the.
Oh yeah.
The roses, like the getting across the floor.
If you were gonna rank this game on a scale of maybe, should we do 1 through 10?
I would probably give it a 9. I really enjoyed it. I know that if we didn't do this, it would still be a game that I would play. I think the reason why I didn't give it a 10, it was difficult sometimes to click the right thing, or
right.
There were things where it's like we were doing the right thing, but it wasn't working because Alex was in the way, or something like or we had to use that.
Yeah. So clicking that letter on her door, if it didn't work, you'd be like, oh, I guess I don't do that. Instead of being like, well, I know I have to do this, and maybe Alex is in the way. Like, the game doesn't really have set up for that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 9 for the same reason. And also, like, I mean, with the Realm of the Dead, you get like one shot. You go there, and you basically proceed through each screen. You don't do a lot of backtracking. You get to go there once, and you either stay there forever, or you go through and you get out, and then you never go back. So, like, if you hadn't gotten the river Styx water, you don't need it to get out, but you need it once you get out. Or if you hadn't got the gauntlet, there's no way to challenge that. So, like, there's literally a very small margin for error in the Realm of the Dead. And I was like, I'm going to power you through here. Well, I'm so glad you love it. I mean, honestly, like I said, it's my favorite. And I wouldn't have even said it was my favorite if you'd asked me a year ago. I think up until very recently, my favorite was 7. But, so I mean, it's very close. 7, 4, and 6 are like my favorite, and for different reasons. But I think when I'm comparing those 3 together, this has it all, so it's my favorite. But I'm excited to see how we rank the other ones as we play them.
Yeah.
For the last time in this series, thank you so much for watching.
And that's a quest.